Now let's talk about the second major pillar of SAP Activate, SAP Best Practices.
If you ask any experienced SAP project manager, what is the biggest reason Activate projects finish faster and with fewer issues, their answer will almost always be SAP Best Practices. What are SAP Best Practices? SAP Best Practices are pre-configured, industry-tested business processes delivered directly by SAP. Think of them as ready-made building blocks that help you start a project with a strong foundation instead of a blank canvas. In the old days, SAP implementations began with long blueprint workshops, endless requirement gathering, and huge documentation cycles before the team even touched the system. Today, with best practices, the conversation changes completely. Instead of asking, "Tell me what your process looks like and we will design everything," Activate allows you to say, "Here is a working process based on global industry standards. Let's review it together and adjust only where needed."
This is one of the most powerful components of the entire framework, and it's what truly makes SAP Activate different from older methodologies. In simple terms, SAP Best Practices are ready-to-use business process templates that come pre-delivered by SAP. They're not just theory. These are tested, validated, and industry-proven process configurations based on thousands of successful SAP projects worldwide. When an organization starts an SAP S/4HANA implementation, instead of beginning with a blank system, they start with a pre-configured solution, a working system that already includes standard business processes like order to cash, procure to pay, record to report, hire to retire, plan to produce. Each of these processes comes with predefined process flows, configuration settings, test scripts, master data samples, end-user documentation. So rather than spending months in workshops just to define how the system should behave, the project team can immediately demonstrate what the standard SAP process looks like and then simply adjust it where needed. This brings three major benefits. Speed, projects start faster because most of the configuration is already in place. Quality, processes are built from SAP's global experience, minimizing errors. And standardization, reduces unnecessary customization, keeping the system clean, stable, and upgrade-friendly. Another major advantage is that SAP Best Practices are available for different industries and deployment models: manufacturing, retail, utilities, banking, public sector, and more, for both S/4HANA Cloud and on-premise versions. Each of these versions gets regularly updated with SAP's latest innovations, so your solution continuously evolves as SAP improves. Think of SAP Best Practices as your foundation blueprint, a robust, proven starting point that helps you avoid reinventing the wheel every time you start a project. It's the reason why modern implementations are faster, leaner, and more reliable than traditional ERP rollouts.
How best practices help you? Accelerate the project timeline. Because you start with working templates, the project kicks off faster. Teams can immediately demonstrate live business scenarios to end users. Reduce customization efforts. Instead of developing everything from scratch, you only adjust what is unique to your business. This helps maintain system stability during upgrades or cloud updates. Lower implementation risk. Since these processes are tested and validated by SAP, they are reliable and error-free. Enable fit-to-standard workshops. Best practices are the foundation for fit-to-standard workshops, where instead of asking, "What do you want?" the consultant shows, "Here's how SAP does it. Do we need to change anything?" Ensure continuous innovation. With S/4HANA Cloud, SAP regularly updates these best practices so you always stay current with new features and compliance changes. Types of SAP Best Practices. There are two major categories: SAP Best Practices for S/4HANA on-premise, meant for organizations running their ERP on their own infrastructure, and SAP Best Practices for S/4HANA Cloud, built for cloud-based implementations aligned with quarterly release cycles and rapid deployment. Each package is modular. You can pick and activate only what your business needs. How best practices change the role of consultants. In the old implementation style, consultants spent most of their time writing documents and discussing processes. With Activate, consultants become process advisors, solution educators, fit-to-standard facilitators, and configuration experts using guided configuration. Work becomes faster, clearer, and outcome-driven. Putting it all together. SAP Best Practices are the engine of Activate. They allow you to start your project with confidence, deliver value faster, reduce custom code, ensure long-term maintainability, and align with SAP's roadmap and future updates. Without best practices, an SAP project becomes slow, expensive, and unpredictable. With them, the project becomes structured, lean, and aligned with modern transformation goals. In summary, SAP Best Practices make implementations faster by eliminating unnecessary design work, smarter by leveraging proven process knowledge, cheaper by reducing rework and errors, sustainable by staying aligned with SAP's innovation roadmap. They are the heart of SAP Activate, ensuring every project starts with success built in from day one. So now that you understand SAP Best Practices, what they are, how they help, and why they're so important, in the next module, we'll explore how guided configuration complements these best practices and brings them to life within the SAP system.
In the next section, we'll go one step further and see how guided configuration connects with these best practices, how SAP actually helps you configure and adapt these processes in a step-by-step, automated way.